hopefully this is recording. What I do know is I want to do this. I want to talk and normalize. Yeah, I wanted to talk about normalizing hard feelings and normalizing thoughts normalizing thoughts and feelings and emotions that are seen as negative or bad or we shouldn't have them kind of thing. Because being judged for having these emotions of feeling angry or feeling sad or feeling frustrated or feeling jealous or feeling envious, being judged for these feelings is it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be judged for having these feelings, when in reality, it's the human experience. Having these feelings are part of the human experience, in my opinion, in my experience, because I experience all these feelings, and there's a lot of people that experience these feelings. And to be judged for feeling jealous, to be judged for feeling angry, to be judged for crying, to be told to stop crying, or expressing your anger, or feeling jealous or envious of someone online, a friend, a family member, a coworker. These are all normal human experiences and emotions, and I don't think it's fair to be judged for having these feelings. So that's why I want to talk about normalizing them, because it is normal to have these feelings. It's part of the human experience. If we're looking at this at a bigger lens, or if we're looking at this at the societal lens, I think that there has been a lot of influence through media, what we see on TV, what we see on social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, I don't know, all these things growing up, that it's not okay. We get the message that it's not okay to feel these things, and then we judge ourselves for feeling this way, and it kind of silences us from speaking up about these really hard feelings to have, and then we feel alone. It's is anyone else feeling this way? How am I supposed to talk about this if I see in media that people get judged for talking about jealousy or talking about anger or talking about crying or actually crying? So I think it's a bigger, a societal influence that's also there. Not the only influence, but I think it's a big influence. Also, if we break it down, when we look at it through an intersectional lens, so if we bring in different, if we looking at this topic of feeling hard feelings and being judged for them, if we look at it through gender or race or your social economic status or your education level, or your sexuality, I think that if we look at it through these lenses, different people of different genders and races and socioeconomic backgrounds and stuff like that, I think are judged differently. For example, in my experience, being a woman, if I cry or if I get angry, I guess angry would be a good example. If I get angry and I express the anger, I verbalize it, or I feel so angry, I just feel I need to say something if I see something is wrong, then maybe I'll be judged for that. Oh, I am too much. I need to calm down. I need to sit down. I need to be quiet. I shouldn't speak up. Those kind of things. But if it was, looking at it through gender, if it was a man that was expressing anger, they were raising their voice, they were doing that, then would he be judged? like if we're looking at it through this intersectional lens societally, would he be judged for expressing his anger, or would he be like praised for expressing his anger? For like, would he be seen as more masculine for expressing his anger instead of being judged, or instead of being told to be quiet or to calm down, kind of thing? So yeah, I'm just like talking these kind of like this topic like out loud and seeing like how it influences people across the board and how it influences people differently across like this spectrum that I'm trying to articulate or look at. I don't know, I don't want to feel afraid for talking about these hard topics in fear of being judged. Like, that's the fear, especially like putting this out there into the world. No, I'm not talking about this perfectly or in the most politically correct way or using the correct words, but I think that shouldn't stop me from talking about these topics that are so present but also like hard to talk about and like silenced in our society. So yeah, not letting the fear kind of like hold me back from speaking up, because all of our voices are important. And all of our opinions are important. So yeah, bringing it back to why I wanted to talk about this is normalizing. Normalizing like the emotions, like having those hard emotions that I was like talking about, anger, sadness, feeling jealous, those types of things, but also like normalizing, it can be uncomfortable to have hard conversations like talking about gender or race or like how things influence people differently or impact people differently. But I want to I want to normalize that, like, it's, even though it's hard to have these conversations, it's important to have these conversations, and it's important, I think, in my opinion, in my perspective, in my experience, to normalize this so that we don't feel alone. Because feeling alone is really isolating, it's silencing, it feels hopeless. Talking about these things, I think, is really important, and normalizing these hard feelings, these hard thoughts, these hard concepts, and talking about them is important. Even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's hard, I think talking about them and normalizing them is important. So yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about today. I hope everyone's doing okay. There's a lot going on in the world. I hope you're able to find a place of safety within yourself, within your mind. I hope you're able to find your peaceful place and to also reach out if you are struggling, because you aren't alone. All right.